Watch out for that fierce weather in northwest Scotland. Back to you.
Fierce weather. Thank you very much. They take your money, they dismantle your home, they leave your personal life in turmoil. We're talking about cowboy builders.
Yeah, and some people have
nice.
real nightmares with them. The government estimates botched home improvements and scam building work costs us all together £1.5 billion a year. Our next guest is on a one-man mission to put a stop to all that, and I wouldn't
You're not going to argue with him.
You're not going to argue with this bloke here. Clive Holland, morning.
Hello.
Morning. He used to be a builder himself. He's touring the country, putting right the wrongs caused by dishonest work. A bit like a sheriff, really.
Well, it's sort of like that. I think, like you rightly say, £1.5 billion, that's a heck of a lot. And over 100,000 complaints a year to trading standards. And I think it's growing, that's the problem.
Yeah.
But with this particular programme, hopefully, if anybody that's thinking of having any construction work, decorating, any gas, electric, anything like that, if they watch every day on the series, there's lots of takeout, there's lots of top tips, and they shouldn't ever fall into the cowboy trap.
Well, a couple of people you helped.
Georgina.
Just seating here, Georgina and Fernando Vanzano. Hello, welcome to the programme. We're going to speak to you all in a minute. We're going to take a look, though, at what happened to you first, the sort of situation you were in.
Fernando and Georgina had big plans for their first marital home. They wanted a dream bedroom with an ensuite bathroom, but were left with flooded floors, mouldy walls, and a bathroom which is unusable.
We haven't been able to open our wedding present yet. We haven't been able to put our stuff. We have been living like surrounded with boxes. All this process has been a massive, big test for our relationship.
I've been connected to the building trade for over 20 years, and this is one of the most extraordinary disaster stories I've ever heard. Our newlyweds are wondering how much longer they can tough it out.
We don't want to give up our dreams, and we are not going to give up the house, but it's been tough, and those kind of thoughts come into our mind all the time.
The unlucky Venzanos own the ground and basement flat of this three-storey Victorian property. Unlucky because they've had not one, but two builders go bust on them, leaving the work unfinished.
And how much money did you spend on that before the sheriff rode into town?
Well, tens of thousands. The exact amount I don't have on the top of my head, but tens of thousands of pounds we'd spent on it. So
what happened? Builders came in and left, and you got some other builders in and they left.
Yeah.
They went bust.
They went bust?
Yeah. Exactly. The first builder came in and he was an absolute cowboy. Was with us for about 7 months, and we really built a relationship with him. I think that was our biggest mistake. But yes, he was there for 7 months, nearly completed the job, and then left, and then it started raining. And that's when we found out it really was a cowboy builder as the mould seeped in.
And the water coming in.
Yeah. Well, they mentioned one mistake, which is to assume the builder is going to be your friend. What were the other mistakes they made?
Well, in real terms, like a lot of people will make, is when you're actually hiring a builder, it's so important to do your research. Certainly getting things like 3 quotes is very important. And remember, a lot of cowboy builders, I keep talking about cowboy builders, there are so many great builders out there. Lots and lots and lots. There is very few cowboy builders. But that minority are spoiling it for everybody else. But they always have the dialogue. When they walk into your home, they've got all the money, they'll tell you they can do this, they can do that, they can do the other, and they give you that confidence. Because you're a professional, you think they're a professional, they'll get their job done properly. But the thing to do is do your research, do your background research, get 3 quotes. Go and ask the builder if you can go and see a job that they've recently done. Talk to the homeowner, find out things like, did they arrive on time, did they finish the job in the dedicated time they said they would, have the contract, did everything get done properly, even down to, I know this might sound crazy, but good housekeeping. Keeping real good housekeeping, so you've got no trip hazards, you've got nothing left to lying around on the floor when you come home. But above all else, I think a big problem that Georgina and Fernando had was that they left their builder in their own property, on their own.
I know that's one of the things you say in the programme, is don't leave builders on their own. And it's a hard job to do if you're working, or if you have to go away. What did you do?
We didn't have an option.
Yeah, the problem is when you work full-time as well, you do build a relationship, you trust your builder, and we met every morning and in the evening on weekends. But with an extensive build, you really can't afford to do it part-time. You need to be there during the day to see them, to make sure they're not you know, taking the mickey or covering things up, and that's the mistake we made.
And one set of the builders you used left out a rather important part of the job, didn't they? Let's have a look at that.
Yeah.
Work was completed with suspicious haste.
It all kind of went together very quickly. The site was finished, ceilings, lights, wardrobes, bathrooms installed, everything. And then the rain came.
There was no waterproofing. The builders were going bust and had skimped on the job to get the money and run. Behind the smart cupboards and light fittings, water poured in.
Oh, yeah. OK, so maintain a proper business footing with your builder.
Yeah.
They're not your friend, you say
crucial.
in the programme?
I do, because they're not. They are strangers. I mean, unless they're your brother or sister or family member, ostensibly they are strangers you're allowing in your property. Yeah. So if you've got maybe an elderly relative who's retired, or maybe you've got a friend who's maybe out of work, somebody that can be on the premises all the time. Sorry, good guys, but do you know what? There's a lot of money you're handing over. You've got to be 100% sure.
Did you ever find your cowboy builders? I know that in the programme you make a phone call to a rather frustrated to an answering machine.
Well, yeah, we
get back to you.
No, we knew where he lived. We knew everything about him. We know he's working again. And the problem is the ease that builders find, or cowboy builders, not all builders, to shut down their businesses, declare themselves bankrupt and start again. You know, he's got 5 or 6 companies and he just continues working, and this is actually his modus operandi, what he does. That's what we find difficult.
I mean, you've got to do lots of homework, but how do you check a builder's qualifications?
Well, of course, there's the Federation of Master Builders, so you can check with them. But there's also many areas that you can find out, and there's lots of different internet sites, but don't trust those. You know, the best way to find out is to make sure that you go and check out their work. And not with the builder over your shoulder. Talk to the homeowner and say the questions that I'd said earlier on, and see the work. If they're happy and they tick all your boxes, that's got to be the best way. That's before price. And the other thing is, we're coming up to Christmas, and it sounds crazy, but we're all coming up to Christmas, and people start planning now for Christmas. Don't have a deadline. We've got so many in this series who say, oh, well, Christmas, great, we could have had this room done, we could have that extension done. And usually, 9 times out of 10, they're disappointed. They're not even in their property for Christmas because we've had problems. Yeah. Do your research. Don't have parameters. And the other thing is that we wait probably about 6 to 8 weeks to get our, once we've done our plans, and it comes back from the planning office, it's accepted. We go headlong, which taken us ages to raise the cash.
Crucial
we go
question,
headlong.
Just before we go. T, should you make it for the builders, and if so, when?
Never. Never. Don't make a friendship with them.
Really?
Never.
No.
For Clive, yes.
I think that's unfair, Bill, to be fair. I think, you know, everybody wants a break. But, you know, like you or I, our bosses always want us in at a certain time, and, you know, we leave at a certain time. If you've got a 9-to-5 job, a builder will come in when he fancies, he'll leave when he fancies. No, get it on the contract. What time are you coming in and what time are you leaving? Get everything down. You must have a contract.
I've never had a contract with a builder. Never had a contract with a builder.
Well, you should.
An email, but not...
Yeah,
definitely.
Not
please, anybody watching today, please have a contract. But like I say, we've got all those takeouts in 20 episodes. Yeah. You should never fall into the trap.
Great stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you very much.
And tea will be in the contract, presumably.
In a certain place I know, somebody made tea for the builders before they even started work. No, I know, it happened. I put a stop to that. You can see Cowboy Trap a little later on. It starts at 11.